Frank's Scuba Diving Career Advice by Pacificklaus. Okay, so there's a bird singing in the background, and I'm actually only 200 meters away from the amazing ocean on Negros Island in the Philippines. But today is part 2 of my mini-series about Frank's scuba diving advice. And so, again, I want to point out this is not a change of direction of the channel. There will be a lot of underwater footage, lots of, gobies and shrimps soon. And but the next couple of times, once a week, there will be a video telling you what to expect and what not to expect when you get into scuba diving. And I also want to point out, as opposed to a lot of other people who are talking about this online, I'm not selling you anything, right? I'm not selling instructor training, anything like that. I'm sharing my experiences. I hope this is useful. Now, what we talked about the last time is should you even get into scuba diving as a job, mainly as a full-time job. Now, today I'll talk about the dive master. So what is the dive master? It is the first step in being a dive pro, meaning that there are these purely recreational diver ratings, which is typically open water, advanced, and rescue diver. And then there is the dive master training. As a dive master, you're qualified to guide other people on a dive, basically. Now, every diver should be able to independently dive. That's sometimes not the case, unfortunately, due to shortcomings in dive training. But often people will come to a tourist destination, book a dive, and then they have a dive guide. That dive guide will have a dive master training. Now, so should you do the dive master course? So if you're an ambitious diver, so the answer is clearly yes. This is a great course. It's very challenging, physically challenging, and challenging in terms of your diving skills. So I've taught that course a couple of times. And it's always great fun, actually, for me as an instructor. But I think the majority of I think all of my dive master students have really profited from this. So, that you will do things like switching the equipment underwater, like a lot of rescue scenarios you will do again. So it will leave you as a better diver. And if you do the actual instructor training, we will talk about that next week, you're actually not learning that much new diving. So really your peak diving skill training is when you do the dive master. And in many cases, unless you're going to tech diving and cave diving. But as a recreational diver, this can be a fantastic experience. Now, there is a different related question, but different question. Should you then work as a dive master, and what can you expect? Now, the answer, there is somebody selling fish here. That's the yelling. It's never boring, never quiet in the Philippines. So, should you work as a dive master? Now, if you are in, for instance, like I was before, in Sydney, Australia, and you have the chance to guide on weekends as a hobby, you're probably not going to make much money, or maybe not any money, but you will be able to do really cool boat dives for free, which does save a lot of money if you love diving. And so this is what I did with Abyss Scuba Diving, which was a great dive shop. And that's where I did my instructor training. And then afterwards, I would sometimes guide dive. So for instance, in Wollongong, where there are seals, right? And then, what was in it for me, like I got to dive with seals for free. But it was not a job in the sense that it didn't, create a livelihood, an income for me. So I was still working at the university at that point. And now the thing is, so if you want to do this, if this is what you expect, guide a couple of dives, make friends, do cool dives for free, then working as a dive master is good. what you cannot expect, and you sometimes see questions like this in scuba diving social media groups, like you do your dive master in in Southern Europe or in Australia, and then you plan to move to Thailand and guide tourists there. This is not going to work for two reasons. The main reason is that there are a lot of locals, and these locals will be very familiar with these dive sites. They will probably be really experienced divers too. And then you can't compete. And then on top of that, you need to pay for your flight. It's more expensive to change a country, and the salaries for dive masters are typically not very good. So this you can forget about. That you do your DM, and then you move whatever to Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, and then become a DM there. DM standing for dive master. Now, however, talking about these locals, if you are one of these locals, like, so I'm in the Philippines, and I see a lot of guys, sometimes women, here in Darwin guiding dives, and this, if they have good critter spotting skills, if they really know how to find the pygmy seahorses and the frogfish, if they have good people skills. I mean, most people in the Philippines speak good English, but some people are just better socially. So if they have good people skills, good diving skills, then this is often a pretty good job. So I see these guys, who are guiding 5-6 days a week, and they are, this is fun, and it's a rather well-paid work for the Philippines. And yeah, then if you're like a young guy growing up on a Philippine island, and then you should consider becoming a dive master, and you can make this a very viable, good career. So this is pretty much it for being a dive. My frank career advice for being a dive master. If you want to just do a bunch of cool dives in that coastal city, maybe Australia and the US, Southern Europe, where you live, then it's a good idea. If you expect to have a career, then, being overseas, guiding tourists, forget about that. If you're a local guy in a tropical country, or woman, and then, I think you should, it's very well worth considering. So, of course, what the other purpose, which you get from the other meaning you get from the dive master training, is that you have the ability to take the next step. You can become an instructor. So, in order to become an instructor, you have to do your dive master. So if you are serious about your career in scuba, you have to do your dive master first. But you can't stop at that point. So the next stop will be being an instructor. That video will come out next week. As usual, support the channel. You can directly support me via PayPal. I'm not depending on YouTube, of course, to live off, but the more money this makes, the more cool videos I can make. And like, subscribe, and tune in next week. Thank you.